What's up, Bills Mafia? So, what did we learn from the Buffalo Bills' loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars in London? Well, what we learned is the football gods can be very cruel. But before we get to that, let's get to that intro.
This is PZ Music.
Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report. I am Tommy. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell because I always forget to tell you. Well, Bills Mafia, what did we learn from the Buffalo Bills' loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars in London? Well, first of all, what we learned is the football gods can be very cruel. Another week and more injuries for this Buffalo Bills team. But let's go ahead and get this article started. By the way, shout out to Bills Wire for creating this article. All right, starting with, of course, these injuries are bad. The Bills weren't in good shape health-wise heading into Sunday. Now it's worse. Already without the likes of cornerback Trey White, Achilles, he's out for the rest of the season. Linebacker Matt Milano, knee, is reportedly going to join him there. It's also unclear how long defensive tackle Daquan Jones, torn pec, might be out. The Bills 3-2 hung around with the Jaguars, now 3-2, when the game was over. But hanging out for another 3/4 of an NFL season is a much bigger ask. So let me give you a quick update on Matt Milano and Daquan Jones. So both are going to require surgery. Daquan Jones tore his pec. They are hoping that he can return towards the end of the season, heading into the playoffs. As far as Matt Milano goes, they are hoping for the same, but we'll know more when they go ahead and do the surgery if there is an ACL injury. Now, the initial report is there's not, but as you guys know, Von Miller, they also said that in the beginning with Von, and once they got in there into his knee area, they discovered that he did in fact tear his ACL. So let's just pray and hope that that's not the case, that it is just a fracture, that it can be fixed, and that we could possibly have Matt Milano at the end of the season heading into the playoffs because we will need him. So now that's three huge key players that are now gone for the season, pretty much, on this defensive side of the ball. Matt Milano, Trey White, Daquan Jones. All three guys cannot be replaced. Let's be real. Guys will need to step up, but they're not going to be able to actually, do what Matt Milano's done, what Daquan Jones can do, what Trey White can do on the field. All we got to hope for is that, guys like, Dorian Williams can do good enough, hold down his spot until Matt Milano returns. Hopefully that's the case. As far as Daquan Jones, we got Puna Ford for a reason, guys. He's here. He has not been dressed. I think he only played one game, and I think that was week 1, if I'm not mistaken. He has been inactive since week 1. He will need to step up, in Daquan's place. And Puna had some good games in Seattle, guys. So he's a good player. He's not a Daquan Jones, but I'm hoping he can, at least hold down that spot until Daquan returns towards the end of the season. As far as the corners go, I am concerned, very concerned. Kerem Elim, for as much as I wanted to get him out there, see what what he could do, I feel like he deserves more of an opportunity. He was inactive for the first 4 weeks of the season. They made him active week 5 due to injuries, due to Christian Benford not being able to play with the shoulder injury. He did not look good out there. Did he look awful? I don't know if I could say that, but he looked pretty bad. Now, I will give him the benefit of the doubt, guys. He hasn't played in 4 weeks. He started this game. There was going to be some rust, also jet lag. I really feel like a lot of the players were just not right on Sunday. So I'm going to give him a little bit of a benefit of a doubt. Also, confidence wise, he has to make a play or two, or an interception. He has to do something to build his confidence back. Because I believe right now this kid's confidence is shot. It has to be. You're a first round draft pick. You know, you get, Christian Benford winds up getting the start over you last season, your rookie year, a 6th round pick, beats you out. And then heading into your next season, once again, you're bottom of the depth chart and you're inactive for the first 4 weeks. That has to kill a kid's confidence. So uh, hopefully he can make a play or two to build that confidence. I don't know what to tell you there, guys, but uh Dane Jackson also played bad. He looked bad. Um, yeah, I don't know what to say, guys. I am very concerned. Brandon Bean went ahead and signed Josh Norman back, 35-year-old Josh Norman, who did not look good when he played for us, and I believe it was 2021. Didn't look good then, and I don't know why they think he's going to look good now. Um, I guess it's just a cheap signing and a depth piece on the practice squad. But it really, honestly, guys, it's Bean needs to do more. And I'm wearing this shirt because I'm hoping Brandon Bean, my buddy, um, makes a trade. You got to pull the trigger, man. You can't keep doing this where every season we lose key guys and you rely on our practice squad guys to step up. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry, but Brandon Bean, love you, bud, but you got to eventually roll the dice and um, take a gamble here and there, and move a player, trade a player, give us somebody that can actually move the needle and help this team out instead of, picking up 35-year-old veteran guys that have nothing left. But we'll see. I always say he should do a trade here and there, especially during the season when we're struggling or guys are getting hurt, and he just doesn't do it. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is the year where he's like, you know what? I got enough draft capital. I can afford to get rid of a couple picks. Maybe. We'll see, but something has to be done, guys, at the linebacker position, especially in the corner position. Those two are just really right now my top concerns moving forward for this team. All right, next up, AJ Epinesa can play. While the injuries will hang over this game, don't overlook AJ Epinesa. He can play. After a Stephon Diggs touchdown, but the score at 11-7, the Jaguars were driving and looked to add to their lead. Especially Epinesa had a strip sack of Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence. In addition to that one, Epinesa had multiple other big plays. He had a single game career high 3 passes batted. He looks good, and Epinesa is in his contract year. Well, yeah, I mean, let's be real, guys. He's in his contract year. He should ball out. He is showcasing himself to all the GMs around the league and trying to earn a bag. I mean, that's the reality of things, and I hope he continues this play. I never said Epinesa was a bad player. I just felt like, since we drafted him, he didn't really take any big steps. Last year, I did think he took a step forward. I didn't think it was a huge step forward, but it was a step forward in the right direction. And this season, Epinesa is playing very, very good. And of course, the contract, helps. Like, right, like him being on a contract year. Of course, that helps. That's going to be motivation, for a player. So I hope he continues this. I hope he continues to grind out there because we're going to need him. By the way, who knows what's going on with Gregory Rousseau's foot? We still don't know. Right now, it's day to day. I'm guessing it's like a sprain and not a fracture because I would assume they would have said so by now. So that's a good sign. But man, we need these guys to step up. And by the way, Von Miller, who knows when he'll, be back full time. They're just kind of, gradually putting him in there and take him out. He's on a snap count right now. So we'll see, but we need AJ Epinesa to continue what he's doing. Next up, London travel plans might have to change. The Bills look sluggish in London. Buffalo had a slow start, but really it was a poor outing entirely. The Bills outbuilt some momentum late, and some think the reason for that was their travel schedule heading over to England. The team departed Buffalo Thursday evening and arrived in London Friday morning. That allowed just for one day of adjusting to the time difference. After the loss, head coach Sean McDermott admitted they'll be evaluating that decision. Well, duh. I mean, by the way, that whole sports science, listening to your science team, they should all be fired. Like, no other team that's playing overseas leaves that late. Look at all these other teams. They're leaving Tuesday, the latest on Wednesday. Like, they're leaving early because they know it could take days for your body and mind to get right? Traveling overseas to adjust to the time change. And the Buffalo Bills didn't do that. They left late Thursday, got there Friday. The players were super tired. They all said that when they arrived. This isn't like them saying this after and they're just trying to come up with some excuse. They were dead exhausted when they got to London. And then they had a practice that day, and they couldn't even practice. They had to do a walkthrough practice, basically very, very, very light practice. And then they had to stay up because they were dead exhausted, but they couldn't go to bed because it was the daytime. They had to adjust to the time change. Just a terrible decision by Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane to leave that late. Um, and yeah, I would hope in the future that they leave the following, like on a Tuesday or Wednesday, the latest. Bad decision by Sean McDermott. But in a way, I get it. I guess he's trying to, go with the guys that are the experts in this sports science team. But they failed us, and Sean McDermott probably should have known better. But maybe he's never flown overseas. I don't know. But that was a poor decision, and it did affect the Bills players on the field. Let's be real. Now, did we lose because of that? No, but it did definitely affect the way they played for sure. They'd be lying if they told you different. Next up, run game woes. The Bills did not run the ball well for the second straight game. It didn't hurt them as much against the Miami Dolphins in week 4, but Sunday against Jacksonville was a different story. Quarterback Josh Allen led the team with 14 rushing yards. Running back Damian Harris, 13, Latavius Murray, 6, and James Cook, -4, combined for 15 rushing yards. That's terrible, guys. Not only does the inability to run the ball not keep an opposing defense honest, simply not handing it off does the same. Buffalo's offensive coordinator, Ken Dorsey, called 10 rushes to backs. Between Allen's runs and throws, he dropped back 44 times. That's insanity uneven. The Bills gave up on running the ball. I agree. And I said this last week. When James Cook did not have a good game. He had 12 carries. I said, you know what? It's okay. Not every running back's going to have a great game, but at least you're giving them the carries where it's going to keep the defense honest and have to play the run when they see it there, especially in play action passes. So James Cook just running the ball 12 times made the Dolphins go, you know what? They're running the ball. They're going to run the ball here. And that's what helped out opening up the play action pass. Also, getting under center. I do not know what Ken Dorsey is doing. Like, everybody is talking about it in the national media, which of course they mean nothing, but they're talking about it. Bills Mafia is talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. How the Buffalo Bills, how Josh Allen plays much better under center and play action and just running the ball. We're a better team under center. And he refuses to do it. He'll do it here and there and then go away from it. And we're doing shotgun draws over and over and over. They do not work. They're either for negative yards or no yards, no gain. It's a waste of a down, totally waste of a down. And we continue to do it like it's something like it's going to magically one day work. It's just not. And it's so frustrating as watching games and watching that play over and over. You want to pull your hair out, man. And I just don't understand how Ken Dorsey doesn't realize this by now. And he's smarter than me. Trust me, he is. He's an offensive coordinator. I'm an offensive coordinator. You know what I mean? Like he's paid to do that job, but I don't get it. If I could see it, everyone else could see it. Why can't he see it? I just don't. I don't get it. And I almost want to go back to just he's just being stubborn, and he feels in his mind that that's the best play, that that's going to work, and he's going to stick with it. And it's not going to work. Ken, you got to take it out the goddamn playbook. It's not going to work. Plain and simple. See, I'm just getting mad thinking about it because it's such a bad play, man. All right, next up, flags all over. After starting this year as a pretty disciplined team, we learned the Bills still have some sloppy in them. In total, there were 11 penalties for 109 yards on the Bills. 5 of them penalties was on defense. Gave the Jaguars a first down. On offense, there were 3 holding penalties, ugly. And some of those penalties came on third downs for the defense, giving the Jaguars first downs. Unacceptable. Can't have it. Now, the referees, I got to say, some of those calls were very suspect. The Jordan Poyer roughing, or whatever that was, not roughing the passer, unsportsmanlike or whatever for hitting a player late or whatever that was. That's bullshit. Everybody knows that. I would be shocked if he gets a fine because that was a bang bang play. In fact, I kind of feel like Ridley kind of threw his body more the way he adjusted his body into Poyer, the way he was coming down. So what was Poyer to do? And matter of fact, we don't know if that ball was, if he had the ball or not at that point. So it was just a bad call. Some of those calls are bad. Um, the one on offense, I think it was Kincaid for the Gabe Davis touchdown. That was BS call. Osiris Torrance, one of those holding calls I did not see. I didn't think that was a hold. Uh, so yeah, I mean some of the rest, but some of the calls were legit. And that could have been jet lag too, just guys just not in their right, who knows, right mind, right, physically and mentally. But yeah, that has to get fixed quickly. Can't keep getting penalties, especially 109 yards worth of penalties. All right, next up, Kyer doesn't do it. After starting on the inactive list for the first month of the season, Kyer Elam got a chance to start because of White's injury and another to Christian Benford's shoulder. Elam ended up getting pulled in favor of Jamarcus Ingram. So we are learning Elam might be the Bills' worst ever draft pick under general manager Brandon Beane. Yikes. Is he the worst draft pick ever? I mean, we're only into year 2, guys. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to sit here and say that right now. Has he worked out? First round draft pick? No. He as of today, as we sit here now, going into week 6, second year of Kyer Elam, no, he's definitely not worked out as a first round draft pick, but it's still early in his career. So I'm not going to kill this kid and say he's the worst, he's a bust. But it's not looking good. That I can tell you, it's definitely not looking good for Kyer. So I said this last week that Kyer, here's your opportunity. Here it is. It's in front of you, right? You need to show McDermott, you need to show the coaching staff, the GM, Brandon Beane, right? You need to show them your worth. You need to show them why you were a first round draft pick. You need to say, "Hey, you see what I could do? You want to make me inactive for the first 4 weeks? This is what you're missing." And he didn't do that. He did not do that. And he's going to get another chance, an opportunity, and he needs to do that. He needs to come up with a big play. He needs to have a good game. If not, he's going to find himself right on the bench, and you're going to see Josh Norman, 35-year-old Josh Norman, get called up in place of him, or Ingram, undrafted UDFA play. And that's a damn shame because I'm going to tell you right now, if Kyer Elam gets inactive again moving forward, you got it. That's it. I'm telling you guys that's it. Um, then Brandon Bean has to move him. I get what you're saying. Depth, Tommy. It's a depth. He's not even active, guys. He's a first round draft pick who's losing value as we speak. Like you cannot keep holding on. Like you never want your first round draft pick as depth, guys. Stop that talk already. I'm all for Elam. I really do. I really hope he works out. I want him to. I see actually the good things he does on the field from last year. Like I saw things that were said, damn, this dude, he can be that guy. But then I saw some bad play as well. Um, and that game Sunday was just not good. And like I said, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because the whole team was a little sluggish, and I get it. He has some rust on him for not playing for the first month of the season, but um, he has to show something this week coming up against the Giants. Have to, or he's going to lose his opportunity, and then Bean will have to figure out what to do moving forward. And that may not be this season, guys. I'm not saying they have to trade him now. I'm just saying in the offseason, they're going to have to figure something out, or by the way, by that time it may be too late. I don't know what he'll be worth to anybody at that point. So we'll see. All right, next up, Von's return will take time. McDermott acknowledged following the game that Von Miller was on a bit of a pitch count in terms of how much he played. Coming back so soon from such a major injury, that makes sense. Miller had one tackle. Yeah, Miller, he definitely, you could tell. You could see the rust. Um, he definitely wasn't the Von Miller we know, and that's understandable, right? It's going to take some time for Von to get back into the groove of things. It's an NFL game shape, so you're going to see him on a pitch count, no doubt about it. I expect him to play against the Giants, but on a limited snap count, maybe a little bit more of a snap count than it was against the Jaguars, but it's gonna be a slow process until he gets back to his normal snap count. Um, and I expect that probably to be another two weeks or so. Um, but yeah, yesterday just you could tell he just wasn't definitely wasn't the Vaughn we know. And that's like I said, I'm good with that. I totally understand that, and I'm glad that they got him off the field because that turf was terrible. And the last thing we needed was Von Miller getting hurt right away, first game back. Uh, you know, in London, a game that really, honestly, yeah, it was not that meaningful, guys. I know we lost, I get it, but it wasn't like a must win. It's early in the season. Don't freak out. We've been down this road before. We've lost to Jacksonville before. Um, it sucks. Losing is never fun. But once again, we're going into week 6, guys. We've been down this road last 3 years, really. All the Bills are all, they're not going to win the division. They're losing 2 straight. They don't look the same, blah, blah, blah. And we always wind up finishing strong. So just put your seatbelts on. Sometimes it's a rocky road. It's a roller coaster of a ride with this Buffalo Bills team. But I feel like they'll figure it out like they always do. I trust in these players. I do. Do I have my concerns? Of course, I have my concerns, and you should too. But I'm hoping and praying the guys that either are stepping up that we have currently can fill those spots for now until these players return, or Brandon Bean, this dude right here, can get on that telephone and make some moves, man. Because I feel he needs to. But yeah, so also what we learned is the NFL cannot do this again. It's an unfair advantage for an NFL team to play overseas against another NFL team that's already been there for 2 weeks and adjusted. And this is not an excuse, and this is not the main reason why the Buffalo Bills lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars. We played bad. But it's not right. It's an unfair advantage. Listen, the NFL, it needs to be a fair advantage for both teams, right? especially when Buffalo, this is a home game. Like, how is that a home game? How like we've like that like we should have been there 2 weeks then if that was a home game. It just unfair advantage. And I think the NFL probably saw that, and I think they were testing it to see. And I hope they saw that that doesn't work. Um, so that's another thing. What we learned, the NFL needs to do a better job in scheduling overseas trips, and don't do that where what you did this game. Um, Also, what we learned is Ken Dorsey in this offense has no identity. I have no idea what we are, what we do best. I don't. Once I thought we were running 12 personnel, and then we didn't run it at all pretty much in that game. Like, I have no idea what this offense is. It seems like every offensive drive is a mission. It is uh it's tough. It's tough sledding. It's not an easy, it's never easy for this offense, right? Like, everything seems to be difficult scoring with this offense. And I look around the league, and a lot of these offenses are just having fun. They're gelling. And I'm not saying every drive has to go that way, but it just seems like every drive we do, it is tough. Every drive, like, nothing seems to be easy for us. Everything has to be a tough catch. Everything has to. It's craziness, man. And it just seems like we're never into this offensive groove. And I blame that on Dorsey, no doubt about it. And I love Dorsey. I thought Dorsey was going to be that guy, man. I couldn't wait till Dable left, because I thought Dorsey was going to take this offense of Dable's and kind of put his own twist on it, and be more creative. And it never happened. At least it hasn't happened yet. And I'm still holding on for hope that it will. But guys, we're a year and 5 weeks, right? One season and 5 weeks into Dorsey, offensive play caller, and it's the same shit week after week. Like, and it's frustrating. It really is frustrating, because especially for me, because I wanted the guy to work out. I really believed in him. And so far, this offense just seems lost. It doesn't seem like they're having fun. Um, you know, I didn't like Dable, but I'll be honest, at least this offense seemed like they were having a good time out there. And Dable was a little creative. Um, I just don't see that in Dorsey, and it's tough. And that's the problem I have with McDermott as a head coach, being a defensive head coach. Is he just that's not his world, right? Offensive side of the ball is not his thing. And I don't think he really understands that this offense just ain't right. And I don't think he'll ever go up to Ken Dorsey and be like, yo, what the fuck? Why are we running shotgun draws? Why are we, when we have 5 minutes left in the game down by 11, why are we shotgun drawing it, wasting time off the clock when it hasn't worked all game? What are we doing? And I don't think he's done that. And I don't think he will do that, because that's not his thing. That's not his side of the ball. An offensive head coach probably would have put Ken Dorsey in check by now. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys on that front, man. I just hope we just gotta hope it gets better. But anyways, guys, Bills Mafia, I love you. And as always, go Bills. I'm out of here. Peace.